let's quickly, Rob, go to soccer. Christian Pulisic, Team USA. Look, most people are saying they've already won, right? They got to the round of 16. They're playing with house money now, and now their best player, Pulisic, will be playing tomorrow against the Netherlands. He had a bruised pelvis, but he will be back and playing, so that's great. And a lot of the Team USA, and, people are excited. I'm excited. I'm not a huge soccer fan, but I'm excited. Rob, it's like speed skating. I am not a speed skating fan, but when the Olympics come around every 4 years, I'm into it. You know what I'm saying? I really am. And that's how I kind of feel about the World Cup. And a lot of the Team USA people, Rob, are saying, the players, if they do well, this could really, drum up more support for the sport in the United States. Do you think that? Do you think that this is something maybe that the sport of soccer can capitalize? It's the world's most popular sport. But, Rob, I've been hearing my brother, who I don't know if you met my brother.
Yeah, I met your brother at the Palace. I did. I met your brother.
Right. Oh, yeah.
We remember that?
Yeah.
Years ago at the Palace.
Yep. He's really small, right? 5'5".
Is he a soccer guy?
Well, no, he was a good athlete. And we were all playing football and basketball and baseball. And because he was so small, he did end up playing those sports into high school.
Okay.
But because he was so small, my parents were trying to get him to look at alternatives. And I remember they did get him to play soccer. I never played soccer like organized.
Right.
But he did play for a year because they were trying to, get him into it because maybe his size wouldn't matter. And he, I remember them telling him, hey, soccer is going to be the next big thing. This was like almost 50 years ago.
That was like my mother telling me about computers, Chris. I remember that. You should go into computer science. Computers are going to be big in the future. You know what I mean?
The difference is your mom was right.
Yeah, she was right.
Your mom was right. But I have a theory, Rob, on why I don't think soccer has become like this huge sport in America. And I know a lot of kids are playing it. We hear all those stats and stuff. But I just think, Rob, in America, we got complicated sports with a lot of deep strategy. And I know there's strategy in soccer. Don't get me wrong. But it ain't strategy like football. It ain't strategy like basketball. And even baseball, which is low scoring like soccer, there's still a lot more going on, a lot more strategy. Even when you think it's slow, a strikeout is exciting.
Right.
Even if there's not a lot of scoring, it still can be a lot of exciting things happening. So I think because we're in a country where you're competing against those sports, I think something like soccer just doesn't resonate as much because we got complicated sports where around the world, they don't have football generally.
No.
They don't, or American football. They don't have, basketball is obviously around, but
baseball's not.
None of them are like they are.
Yeah, I'm going to say I don't think the success of the men's U.S. soccer team is going to change the fabric of the United States. There are people, Chris, the L.A. What is it, Alex? The LAFC?
Galaxy?
No. The LAFC, is that the name?
LAFC.
Yeah.
They have, Chris, they won the soccer championship, right? Just a couple of weeks ago, and they had a big crowd and people in LA, and I get it.
But I don't believe it's going to change people's habits in sports in this country. Soccer, they've been telling us for 50 years that soccer's coming and it's going to be bigger than baseball and bigger than football and all that. And it's just not going to happen here. I'm not saying that there is an appreciation for it and MLS and all that. I used to play indoor soccer, Chris, for exercise when I was in Detroit. I loved it.
Right.
But it's not going to capture America in the sense that the other sports have. I just don't believe that.
No, I agree. I'm in total agreement. Look, this is a great moment. If we win tomorrow, it'll be even greater. And I do think that the sport and that team in particular will capture the imagination, right, of the country, casuals, and even people that aren't even casual soccer fans. People will be into it.
No, they'll pay attention, right?
Yeah, if we win. So it would be great. But yeah, it's not, Rob. It and that's nothing against the sport. but it's just like some of the Olympic sports.
Right.
They'll capture your imagination.
And then you go away from it, and it's done. It's like, I'm not paying attention to that. It's the Olympics. It's the wintertime, Chris. I'm at home. You know what I mean? They put the game on. Yeah, I mean, or I could watch another rerun of something. So you watch it.
Sometimes I think, Rob, you see some of these sports, even things like X Games. I mean, the bicycle, the racing bikes and all that. I'm not talking about the Lance Armstrong type stuff, but I'm talking about like the dirt bikes and, the thing, just skateboarding, the flips, and any of these athletes, skiers. Sometimes I watch these sports that aren't big in America, and I'm like, yo, these people are fantastic athletes at what they're doing. Like, they are just as skilled in that as the running back or what have you, the pitcher, but we just don't give them nearly as much attention. And it doesn't mean because what they do isn't awe-inspiring. Now, like I said, I do think soccer just is competing with a lot of more complex sports in America. That's my opinion on why it hasn't captured us. But we'll see. I do think if we can win tomorrow, that it'll be big for the country. We're going to throw it out to you guys, though. 877-99 on Fox. Soccer. Why hasn't it taken over America as predicted a half a century ago?
All right, Chris, let's kick it off with Jake in Fresno. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What up, Jake?
All right, hey, guys. What's going on?
Doing good.
What's up, man?
All right. So, I mean, one of the reasons, obviously, football's got a stake in America with how much money they make and how much money they put into it. But, I mean, I feel like soccer, they're going to grow. You got the World Cup coming to North America, 2026. You got a lot of young kids playing that might play soccer instead of football because of CTE or whatever else. I feel like soccer, it hasn't gotten the love from America. It's the beautiful game. Every country plays different. That's the thing about it. England plays different than Spain, than France, than everybody else.
Yeah. I
don't know. That's what we've been hearing, Rob, for decades.
Right. I'm with you. I just don't think. I was hearing it when I was a kid, Chris. You heard it.
Same thing.
Everybody. Yep. Just a matter of time. It was like the new math, Chris, when we were supposed to go to the metric system.
There is new math, though. Have you? I mean, when I was helping, when my kids were in school,
is there new math?
There is new math.
Okay.
Yeah, which just seems a lot more complicated to me. And I'm talking about it was just regular addition and subtraction. The way they add and stuff, it was like, what? Like, y'all making it hard.
Right. My God.
This should be simple.
All right, John in Des Moines, Iowa. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What up, John?
Hey, guys. First of all, do you remember Superstars? You guys old enough to remember?
We've talked about that before, yeah.
Remember when they put Giorgio Chinaglia on that show? He was with the New York Stars. He was with Pele's team.
Yep.
He crushed Superstars.
I remember.
He won.
Was he going? I don't remember him being on. No, but did he go against other like football players and stuff?
Yeah, top athletes in all sports.
But John, you remember? Wait a minute. The Cosmos had Pele, Giorgio Chinaglia, and Franz Beckenbauer from Germany. You remember that?
Yeah, they had star power out there. So that just stuck in my mind when you talked about how great and athletic these guys are. I want to give you my opinion on why I think soccer has not cut through in the U.S. One of the things is Americans like their sports autocratic. They like somebody in charge. They want the football coach is in charge. He's sending in a play. He's substituting all the time. Baseball managers, top step of the dugout, making those pitching changes, putting in pinch hitters. They are in charge. Basketball players coaches are calling timeouts. They call so many they had to take some away from them. It's terrible, right? Soccer coaches, man, when that game starts, there's not a lot they can do. That action's taking place a long way away from them. Yeah. There are no timeouts to get together, and you got halftime to make adjustments. You can make 3 substitutions, and that's it. I just think that makes American sports fans kind of...
You think that's the main reason? The coaches?
I think that's part of it. The American sports fans, that just seems weird to them. Now, these guys running around for 45 minutes at a time, and plus injuries. time. That's the other thing. You don't know how much time is left in the damn game. That's a real problem.
That's the other thing, Chris. Well, I was watching the other day at USC, and it was on in the newsroom. Thanks for the call, John. And then, when they add the extra time and stuff,
right.
The game's like, you're like, all right, the game's over. Oh, no. Well, we stopped. There's no stoppage of play, and the guy was injured, so we're adding 9 minutes. So you're like, wait a minute, it's still going on. All right.
I think the caller made good points about the coaches.
But you're not sure. Right.
But I don't think that affects the fans.
Right. Not as much. Jason.
It was an astute observation.
Yep. Jason in California, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What up, Jason?
Hey, guys. How's it going, man? Chris and Rob, love your show.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah. My son and I listen to it every day going home from school. We love it when you guys get at it for each other.
Well, sometimes, we do get at it. You know how it is, Jason.
Sometimes I got to put Rob in his place.
Yeah, sometimes I got to beat Chris down another foot or whatever.
Yeah. Hey, this time, though, listen, I kind of disagree a little bit with Chris in terms of, soccer not having deep strategy. I think that's kind of the opposite. I think that we don't really appreciate the subtlety of the strategy as much and the nuance, which is maybe why we don't excel at it. And the other thing, though, is in terms of being popular, baseball, football, basketball has a way big head start. But I think what's going to change the game for soccer is that the younger kids, the generations, they look at sports in snippets and highlights on TikTok and YouTube and stuff. And soccer, the athleticism in those people is really impressive. And if you watch snippets, it's quite entertaining. And I think what's going to change the game is younger generations of fans aren't going to consume sports one game at a time. They're going to consume small little snippets. And that will, I think, elevate the highlight aspect for the younger generations. And once those generations get to the point where they're, a few of them make it to the millions and billions and maybe want to start something up, I think that may flip it over time. It's not going to flip over the course of one World Cup, but over the course of, maybe 3 or 4 as we get better and these kids consume it in the way they consume highlights, that may be enough to get some of our better athletes to focus on that instead, maybe.
I'll give you, I do think it's a good point, Rob, about the snippets. Because there could just be some great soccer highlights and guys are watching that on Instagram and all that stuff. You're still ultimately on TV, they're going to put a full game. So that's the challenge. But I do think that maybe if they could consume some people's imaginations with the highlights. I'll give you that. We take a few more of your questions.
Yeah, let's do that. Yep.
On soccer, 877-99 on Fox, 877-996-6369.
All right, Chris, we got Nick in Montana. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What up, Nick?
Oh, my goodness. I'm so glad to be here with you boys.
Thank you, buddy.
Good to have you, my man.
Oh, my God. I listen to you guys all the time, man. I love y'all.
Really?
Thank you.
No, I mean it. I don't know. As far as soccer goes, when I grew up, that was the only sport we were allowed to play on the playground because football was too tough.
How old are you now? I'm just curious to see what,
36.
Okay, 36.
No,
okay.
Look, I'm
even
older
even growing up,
we played soccer on recess, at recess a lot.
Did you?
Yeah. They wouldn't let us play football because we'd hurt each other too much.
Yeah, man.
Or whatever.
Did you play organized?
No, but I coached. I coached organized for my son. He's 14 now. So
you think it's gonna? So you coach the young kids. You think it's gonna ever become a huge sport in America?
I don't know, man. There's a lot of Karens out here. It's like, you can't coach. You can't coach the kids. They just the moms get upset. But
yeah, we know.
But out here for the extreme sports like skateboarding, dirt bikes, snowmobiles, skiing, snowboarding. You want to talk about the athletes? I heard you guys
that's
talking about this earlier.
That's what I was saying, man. That's what I was saying. Like, if you watch some of these, these sports that might be on a Saturday afternoon, or obviously you got the Olympics, but even other times of the year, there are some of these people are tremendous athletes at what they do. Yeah, and we just don't pay much attention to some of these great athletes.
Because they're not playing the sports that we're so used to. Nick, thanks for the call. We appreciate it. Estella in Maryland, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing great.
Good.
Okay, so I think it's because soccer is not a very physical sport. Like, contact-wise.
Right. Obviously.
Because we technically do like a lot of the aggression in football, hockey, basketball. And then, of course, I mean, we're terrible at soccer. And until we actually have somebody or a decent team, I mean, nobody's going to want us.
All right. I hear you. Thanks.
Wasn't Freddie
Estella
Adu supposed to be like the man?
Yeah.
Years ago, it didn't work out.
What was
Freddie
it?
Adu.
Freddie
Adu, remember?
Yeah. He was supposed to change everything. He played in the MLS. Let's get one more in, Chris. Greg in Texas. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What up, Greg? Greg.
Hello, Greg. Going once.
All right, we got Paul in Charlotte. Paul in Charlotte, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
Gentlemen, I have a theory as to why soccer hasn't caught on here, and it has not as much to do with culture as it does with the speed of the game and scoring. Because I've known several youngsters that excelled in soccer, but they would transition to football when they were old enough, or to basketball. And my son went to high school with a youngster who was a superb soccer player. He got a full boat scholarship to kick for Wake Forest. I won't mention his name, but it's when you compare it to hockey, there's not a lot of scoring in hockey either, but it's a faster game and it's a more physical game. Whereas soccer, not only do you have to understand the nuances and the rules, but it's just not enough scoring and a lot of running and kicking. And if you don't understand the strategy, as an American, you gravitate towards football, baseball, and basketball, and even baseball. I guess baseball is a slow sport, but
because baseball is slow. But even like I said, even it's not just the scoring. Like soccer, and I get it, there is strategy.
But there's just not enough
but
scoring.
It's not compared to the other sports, in my opinion. And you're right. Like in soccer, you better score.
Right.
Or I mean, I'm just watching you pass the ball or steal the ball or defend it or whatever. Whereas in baseball, there can still be a great defensive play, a double play, a
guy could jump over the fence, right, Chris, and grab a home run.
Strikeouts are exciting.
Right.
Even if it's just a strikeout. He didn't even touch the ball, but it's exciting. Stolen bases. So I that's my opinion, and that's just me. There's no study behind that. It's just my own feeling in thinking about why it, in our opinion as Americans, for the most part, it doesn't compare to our three most popular sports. And in the hockey, Rob, there's fighting. Fighting. There's physical
not as much
banging,
as it used to be, but
no.
You remember
but it's
the
banging, you know what I mean, and stuff like that, even when they're not scoring. So
you remember the old days, Chris, with blood and teeth knocked out.
Oh gosh,
it was a mess.
But they'll let you just line up and watch. You know what I mean? Certainly used to.